Hey everyone, I'm joined right now by WildTurtle at a Logitech press event. We're talking a couple weeks before this interview will come out, so we'll try to go with some more long-standing questions. But Turtle, right now on TSM, I wanted to talk to you a little bit in this interview about your history and path. I mean, you started off essentially on TSM almost at the start of the LCS. After playing with them for so long, what was it like for you when you transitioned to Immortals?
I felt really weird playing with new teammates because I haven't really played with other teammates other than my TSM members for a really long time. But I was pretty open to playing with new teammates and getting into a new environment. So I think Immortals was a really good place for me to find myself as a player and find myself in an environment that's different from TSM's.
Yeah. And kind of reflecting on your time at Immortals now that 1 year later you're back on TSM, do you feel like you learned anything or changed anything about yourself as a player or as a person while you were there? Because obviously such a different experience, right?
Yeah, I think on my time at Immortals, I think I grew a lot as a player because my communication with my teammates has gotten a lot better. I try to be more selfless and try to play with my team more so than playing for myself rather than trying to do flashy plays, work on my own mechanics, etc. I just try to figure out ways where I can better my team and better my communication and guide or play as a team basically.
What do you think of, what was it about Immortals that really instilled that change in you? Is it like a coaching situation or just the teammates? Like what really about that environment made that change?
I think it came a lot to do with my teammates on the team. I think Hooney, Rainover, Pobelter, Agent, they were all pretty much team players. They all really wanted to work together. Especially I think Hooney was like the player who was like really team oriented. He always tried to make sure everyone was in a good place to carry the game, and he set up a lot of opportunities for us in the game.
It's so funny to hear you talk about Hooney that way because I think the stereotype out there is that Hooney's like this selfish guy that wants to do crazy stuff in the top lane, isn't interested so much in showing the success of his team as much as himself. You're saying that that was very different.
Yeah, for sure. Like Hooney was definitely like a great team player. He definitely tried to put his teammates above himself, I think. And definitely with Rainover too. I think Rainover guided our team a lot, especially with his in-game pathing of the jungle. I think Rainover was a pretty good guide for that too.
So then for you, then suddenly you transition back to TSM. I don't know if that story has really been told before about how that conversation went and why you decided to go to TSM and all that. Maybe you can talk to me a little bit about that time last year where all that happened.
I don't know. It was kind of random, really. Like TSM just really needed a member to play at IM, and I think they liked how I worked with the team. Like when I was pretty much trying out for TSM at the time, and I had a lot of other team offers too, but I decided TSM was going to be good too because I scrimmed with my teammates, and I had a pretty good time, and I think we were getting. I mean, even though we lost at the IM event, I think we did pretty well.
Was it weird for you to come back to TSM? I mean, this was a team that, respectfully kicked you off the team or didn't renew your contract, right? Was it strange for you to return?
I don't think it was strange at all because I think last year we were kind of in a rough patch. I think TSM wanted to get a new AD carry too. And I think I wanted to join a different team and try something new also. And I think I went to Immortals for that. And I think I came back as a stronger player. We just haven't really shown it right now because our team is kind of in chaos right now. Yeah.
Yeah, as we speak, 6-2, right? Which is funny you say that's chaos. I look at teams right now like the ones that have won maybe no games or only a couple. I think that looks like chaos. Why is it that 6-2 looks like chaos for you?
Well, not necessarily 6-2 is a bad score. I just think the way we play the game right now is kind of we don't really have a path right now. I don't think we have like certain plays we always consistently pull off, and we kind of just win due to our mechanics.
So there's a lot of conversation about shot calling right now, and people looking at TSM and wondering like, is this a shot calling situation or what's the problems there? What in general about shot calling can you talk to me about? Is so many people have this perception that there's just one person that does the shot calling. Maybe you can speak, about shot calling in general.
Well, shot calling is kind of a weird topic because I think on some teams it's rare to really have one shot caller, like High being the sole shot caller of FlyQuest. I think that's like actually a really rare scenario. I think most teams function with five players giving really useful information and all players at each phase of the game knowing what they have to do in their certain role. And yeah, I think shot calling is a lot wider than just like one person making a call. I think it's like every player knowing what to do at each point in the game, and one player that specializes in one aspect to make the final call.
But then on TSM, it sounds like, at least right now, you guys are trying to figure out a way to maybe distribute the shot calling a little bit more.
Yeah, we're definitely trying to distribute the shot calling a lot more and taking a bigger responsibility in each phase of the game. I think each player should be or is going to be responsible for each point of the game.
So then, for you, what does that mean for you? Obviously distributing some of that, but what does that mean for you?
Well, I think what that means for me is to basically shot call around the bot lane a lot better and transitioning my lead into a lead somewhere else, rather it be objectives, turrets, and just basically looking at objectives.
Interesting. So with TSM this year, it's just the first split. But it's interesting to me because so many people I think that are watching League, it's easy for them to think, oh, World Championships, that's not for so many more months, second half of the year. But I know teams start to kind of put their eye on it even at the start of the year. Do you think that way? Like whenever you're trying to improve, are you thinking about Worlds? Are you looking at the other regions and wondering what it would be like if you had to stack up against them?
I'm definitely thinking about Worlds, but you can't really get to Worlds if you don't really perform well in your respective region. So we have to like focus on one thing at a time. And for me right now, it's just winning North America and then setting my eyes on a bigger picture.
What do you think of the split so far? I mean, again, this interview's a little back in time, but what? I mean, there's so many new teams that are doing well. FlyQuest, obviously, it's kind of this weird thing where it's a brand new team, but not really a brand new team. What surprises have you seen in the LCS this year?
I think a big surprise in the split in LCS right now is EchoFox. I think EchoFox is performing really well. I think they have a pretty good identity right now where they pull off plays, and the plays they pull off seem to be really calculated, and it seems like something they've been practicing for a while.
I won't dive into the politics of their scrim situation, but I do want to ask you, it was well known that for the first couple of weeks, they were just scrimming with a sister team. Do you think there's any value in scrimming exclusively with sister teams, or like it? It's so crazy to me because nobody really knows how these scrims work except for the players and the coaches, and so for you and everybody, it might be. For all I know, like information just gets disseminated a lot. You see something that somebody's doing a scrim, somebody else picks it up, and they start scrimming with it, and suddenly everybody in the NALCS knows about it even before it's debuted because people start doing it in scrims. So any information you can provide me about, scrimming, philosophy, mentality, that kind of thing.
Well, scrimming is kind of a weird thing because you can say you're winning a lot of scrims, but sometimes it doesn't really translate on stage that well. And I think scrims are kind of false in a way unless you're actually working on an objective. I think for TSM, I think we perform pretty well in scrims, but our stage games haven't been that well. And that's because I think we're practicing in the wrong way. Like we're just pretty much practicing to like destroy our opponents in lane, and then we would just win off like the ways we get objectives in scrims is way different than the way we get objectives on stage. So I think scrims can be kind of like a, what do you call it?
Like a misdirection or whatever?
Yeah, something like that, yeah.
And so for you, you talked about a little bit of the objective situation. Can you elaborate on that a little bit?
Well, for example, like let's say if 5 members on the enemy team is up and 5 members of ours up on stage, it would be kind of weird for us to set up. Like maybe we want to set up the right way and we would lose a team fight off of that. But the way we take dragons and scrims would be like maybe 5v4. We just pick someone off and we just take dragon for free. We're really not setting up for that objective.
So, and why not? Why isn't that translating over to stage?
That's because like most players play more conservative on stage. Like they're not going to give you a free kill so you can get a free objective all the time. But in scrims, people tend to not care that much, and they would just get picked off and then give up the objective.
Very good. Well, we are at a Logitech event, and I would be remiss if I didn't mention the thing that brought us here, which is this keyboard. Now, sometimes pro players don't tend to care about too much about what equipment they're using, but I know we were speaking a little bit beforehand, and you legitimately do actually care a lot about the keyboard stuff. Do you want to talk to me a little bit about this keyboard?
Yeah, for sure. So we're here presenting the Logitech G Pro keyboard, and it's basically just on release right now. It's pretty much a tournament edition of the A10, and I really like it right now because it's so compact and small. And the Roamer G keys are just really, like, honestly the best, I think, switches on the market right now, and I really enjoy it.
Okay, so it's probably very easy for people to say, "Oh, these are the best. These are the best."
Yeah.
But I want to know legitimately, like, what makes you say that? Like, what do you really appreciate about the keyboard in general?
I just really appreciate like how small and compact it is. Like I usually need a lot of space with my mouse and keyboard, and I really appreciate that it's really compact and I can just use it.
Yeah.
Like like it's just really good to take like anywhere with you because it's so small and it just fits in your backpack.
Yeah. One of the things that was interesting to me was just at times I've seen pro players and sort of the amount of size that some of the bigger keyboards take up on their table or their desk wherever they're playing. For you, you kind of mentioned that this is nice because you have more space. Do you find that you need that for mouse movements?
Yeah, I definitely think like just having more space, regardless of like how much space you currently have, is like always better. Like I know this keyboard is really small, so it's like really nice for me to have more arm space.
So I noticed there's not a cord plugged into it. Do you want to talk about that situation at all?
So
Because this is like a
basically,
new trend that I've seen
yeah.
maybe with some of the
Well, it's
keyboards.
not wireless. So you basically have a detachable wire just basically when you're on the go because pro players travel a lot and you really need to have the detachable cord and you won't have to wrap around the wire on your keyboard. So it's pretty nice.
So have you used this previously?
Yeah, I actually currently use it at home right now and I really like how small it is and I just really enjoy it.
Very good. Well, thanks. It's been really cool to get your insight on the new keyboard, but also really interesting to hear sort of the differences that have occurred in your pro career from Immortals to now TSM again, all that kind of stuff. Is there anything that you want to say to any of the WildTurtle fans out there?
Be turtles, man.
And you know what? That's all we needed. Thank you so much, WildTurtle, for the interview. For everyone else, you can check out the rest of our coverage of all things esports here at Yahoo Esports.